Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about some news regarding the World Championships. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it might not be the best news. I am not attempting to scaremonger you with this video or, make everyone worried or stressed or anything along those lines. But the whole point of this channel is to keep you guys as informed as possible when it comes to everything regarding the Pokémon TCG, and there are a couple of things which have come up regarding especially the World Championships over the past couple of days that are not necessarily the best news, and we need to share it. And I want to start off with the Pikachu Yokohama deck. Now this is one I showed you t'other day, which looks absolutely flat out stunning. Just amazing. Now, this is an entire deck which is being sold in Japan for the World Championships, and amongst other things, it's got Pikachu EX, which is awesome. It is a Pikachu that does 220 for free energy, and then you flip a coin, and if tails, you unfortunately have to discard all of the energy attached to that Pikachu, which is, not necessarily ideal. But of course, that means it is not a new Pikachu EX. It is a Pikachu EX that came around in Paldea Evolved. Same card, but I think it's fair to say redonkulous artwork. Now, I struggle with this. I don't think it's technically a Worlds promo, because it's not a promo being given out at the World Championships per se, but it is in a Worlds tie-in deck. And it does have a World Championships 2023 stamp on it. Oh, and it does actually clearly have WCS, World Championship Series 23. No, let's call it a Worlds promo. I'm calling it. It's a Worlds promo. But the point is, it is an absolutely stunning card. It is one of the coolest cards they have shown us for a very long time. I adore this card. And look, I'm hyped for the World Championships. You all know I'm hyped for the World Championships. And this is kind of amazing. I love this card. This deck is cool. And as well as that, we can see the whole contents here. You get a full deck, you get a coin, you get sleeves, and you get a fancy deck box. And look how cool the bottom of the deck box is. It's awesome. I think Munchlax is going to eat all of them. But you get yourself kind of like a fancy, I think it's a metal deck box, and you get yourself a World Championship coin, World Championship sleeves. It is just absolutely stunning. So why am I talking about this today? Well, it seems to be that this is not going to be as easy to find as we might like. Now, I am missing information here. I want that on the record. I am missing information. I don't have all the information. I'm not entirely sure anyone, and I mean anyone, has all the information. But today was the day where the results of the latest lottery for the Pokemon Center Online was sent out, and one of the lottery items that was announced this morning, for me at least, was the result of this deck. Are you going to get one of these decks? The answer for me was no. I didn't win the lottery. But the lovely Primal Lugia showed me this tweet from Pikachu. Sorry for the terrible pronunciation there. And they've set up a poll. Now, the reason we're looking at a Twitter poll is it's had 25,000 votes. 25,000 votes. Which means I think it is actually worth looking at. And it's basically asking, did you win? Were you successful in winning this lottery? Now, I've been learning Japanese for a while now. I'm sure most of you probably haven't. And if you have, go team. And if you haven't, that's okay. But basically, the top result there with 29% is basically saying, I was selected. The second result there is saying, I lost. And the third result there is the classic you see on polls, I would like to see results. So, when it's 53% lost, it's not really 53% lost. Because 18% of the people that answered this poll were basically saying, I just want to see what the result was. So it's not as simple as 29% of people were successful and 53% of people failed. That's actually not the way we're doing this here. The actual result here is that 65% of people were unsuccessful. What you do is you add all the people that answered yes or no together, then you divide the no by the total and times it by 100, and that's a percentage of all the people that answered, not just looking at results, that were successful. And you end up with 65%. With a tiny weeny bit of rounding / forgiveness, that tells us that 2/3 of the people that entered this lottery, including myself, were unsuccessful. That is bad odds, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there are 3 ways that this deck is being made available. Number 1 is the Pokemon Center lottery, which does not seem to have gone well for most people. Number 2 is that it is actually being sold at the Pokémon Center in Yokohama at the World Championships. So hopefully a load of people are going to be able to get it there. And number 3, it is going to be sold at Pokémon Centers in Japan, not just at the World Championships, just Pokémon Centers in Japan. Here's the thing though. We all know at this stage that the Pokemon Center over in Japan is going to be massively busy. We all know that it was done on a lottery system, and I know some people weren't happy about this, but the alternative to a lottery is they pick a time and everybody goes to the website, which breaks instantly because it's massively overwhelmed, and then it's just an absolute... well, it just doesn't work, does it? We all know that's not a great system. Neither is a lottery, incidentally, but, swings and roundabouts. So we end up in this situation where not everybody's got a slot. Now, some people do. Spectators can, when they pick up their spectator badge, go and get a slot. And there is a slot for competitors, but it seems to be the same slot for all competitors, and that is a lot of competitors. And there aren't going to be infinite numbers of this deck. I do expect, and again, this is just a prediction based on what I've seen. This is not insider information. This is not a guarantee. This is just this is what I've seen. However, this seems to be a product which is going to sell out pretty quickly. I am imagining and frankly hoping that there is going to be a limit of 1 per person at the Pokemon Center, but there's going to be literally hundreds of thousands, if not 1 or 2 million people going to the Pokemon Center while it's there. And no, I'm not exaggerating. Do we honestly think there are going to be that many of these decks at the Pokemon Center at Worlds? And I know it's going to be sold in other Pokemon Centers, but it's going to be very popular there. I mean, to put it into context, I told you, my aim is 16 Pokemon Centers in Japan when I go. I don't know if I'm going to hit 16 Pokemon Centers, but I am absolutely trying. I hold out absolutely no hope I'm going to find a box of Pokemon Card 151 for sale in any of them. And I think this could be a similar thing. So what I'm telling you, the whole point of this is just be ready. If this is a product that you're after, try and get an early slot at the Pokemon Center. Try and make this a priority when you get into the Pokemon Center. Be on the lookout, because the signs I'm getting for this at the moment aren't great. Something I can speak to with a bit more clarity is that the Pokemon World Championship deck boxes have been cancelled. I showed you the list of products from the lovely Cerebi.net recently, and I included deck boxes on there. They're not happening, ladies and gentlemen. Those World deck boxes aren't happening. I'm showing you the images of the ones from London right now, because I don't have images of the one from Yokohama, because they've been cancelled. But the announcement went out, and unfortunately, the announcement read like this. Google translated because my Japanese is not that good. The sales of Deck Case Yokohama 2023 and Double Deck Case Pokemon World Championships 2023, which were introduced at Pokemon Center World Tour 2023, will be discontinued due to circumstances. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused to our customers due to the discontinuation of sales. They haven't given us a reason, and frankly, why would they? That's not really a standard thing that the company's like, right, come on kiddies, come sit down, story time, let us tell you why this product was cancelled. Now, my theory, and again, I want to be 100% clear here, that this is a theory and I have no insider information. This is just going on my business knowledge in the past. This is late to cancel a product. If a product has a big problem with production, such that it can't be produced or they all end up with quality control issues or something, you generally find out earlier because these products are made in advance. My theory, and I want to be 100% clear that it is nothing but a theory, is essentially that they had some. Not as many as they would like, but they had some. And then they basically saw the numbers of people who were registered and gearing up and applying to go to the Pokémon Center, and they realized that the number they had was way too small and it wasn't worth trying to sell it. Remember, the deck box, along with like the sleeves and playmat, etc., is always amongst the most scalped items when it comes to the Pokemon World Championships. The key accessories, deck box, playmat, sleeves, are always bought by a bunch of people who don't want them, who are just bought with the pure intention of reselling them. Which is rubbish, incidentally, and I'm not a fan, but that is unfortunately the way it is. And it sucks, and I dislike it greatly, but that's the way it is. And they basically have decided here, you know what? It's not, for whatever reason, we are not going to be selling them. I mean, the good news is you can still pick up the ones from London actually pretty cheaply. There are listings over on eBay, and, well, they're actually, because it was Worlds in London, they all tend to be listings from the UK, but they're like $30 or $50 for a pair. It's actually pretty available, which is cool. And don't get me wrong, that's still too expensive. That's still scalpers selling it on. But it's not a product which has actually been that expensive compared to some others. But then again, at Worlds this year, they had, or last year I should say, they had plenty of stock and it wasn't such a big deal. It seems like, for whatever reason, we're not getting them this year. I'm personally quite gutted, because this is 100% a product I would have picked up and bought, because I'm a big TCG nerd and I love my deck boxes. But in the end, there's going to be a lot of cool merch there. Yes, I know it's disappointing the deck box has been cancelled, don't get me wrong. I would have bought this product. I'm personally a little bit sad. But there is going to be so much cool stuff, I think we can forgive it. Oh, also, they finally released images of the figures you can buy at Worlds. Look how cool they are. There we go. We finished on a nice piece of news. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know if you've got a lead on that deck box, how confident you're feeling. I want to know what you feel about this deck box being cancelled. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, of course, like the lovely Kiridum, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.